Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Yair Radah. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahushua being the name of his beloved Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus. All right, and with this video, we're going to get into a Negro-only false doctrine. Okay, because you got a lot of people out there who Negro-only, and we're going to get into a couple cuts on Negro only, the Negro only doctrine. I'm glad I don't even know how to say the damn name of the doctrine, man. It's madness, right? But we're gonna get into a couple cuts on the Negro only doctrine and people that try to promote that, people that try to teach that. But you're gonna find out, Abba willing, at the end of this video, that that is not biblically supported whatsoever. Okay. First, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. Oh, look, that's the spirit, man. Jeremiah, chapter 50 and 33. That's the spirit. Flip right to it. First, let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. It says, this is Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 33, because they'll try to say that, what they'll say is, the northern kingdom is over in Africa. It's the Africans. But that's just not the case. And we're going to read a prophecy about both the northern and southern kingdom and what will be going on with them in today's time. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." So it straight up told you that the children of Israel and the children of Judah, meaning the northern and the southern kingdom, both were oppressed together. Talking about a future prophecy. It's not talking about because they'll try to say, oh, that's talking about when we was oppressed together in Salakia in Babylon. But you didn't have northern kingdom taken away captive by the Babylonians. Okay? The northern kingdom actually went into captivity before the southern kingdom did to Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. The northern kingdom went into captivity and got taken captive by the Assyrians in 722 BC by King Salmanasar during the time of Hosea the king. That's the time period that they actually went into captivity to the Assyrians, 722 BC. Let's actually get that in the Apocrypha. And this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 40. And it reads, it says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar, king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. And also, Salakia, and so came they into another land." So they came into another land. Why? Because they was taken captive into another land. By who? The Assyrians in 722 BC. Let's get 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 17 and 22. This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 22, and it reads, it says, "For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam." This is talking about the northern kingdom, because Jeroboam was the king over the northern kingdom, like you can read about in 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 26 on down, and 1 Kings chapter 12, the whole chapter. Okay. It says 22, "For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from him, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight," talking about the northern kingdom, "as he said by all the servants, the prophets, so Israel was carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day." Straight like that. So that all that happened in 722 BC. You can even look it up, and it actually attaches 722 BC and the Assyrians to the so-called Hispanics. If you go and do research and look that up, it actually says that the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans was actually taken captive by the Assyrians in 722 BC. That actually links up with the scriptures. That history does. So that's I mean, who is that talking about? Is that talking about the Africans? La. And it's not talking about the southern kingdom either, because not too long after that, in 620, around the time of 626 BC, then what happened? You had Nebuchadnezzar come to Jerusalem, and guess what? He took down the temple, man. Come to Jerusalem, destroyed Jerusalem, and guess what? We went and got carried away captive to the Babylonians, which happened during the time around 626 BC. So we were not literally oppressed together. No, we was oppressed by two different kingdoms. Northern kingdom was oppressed by the Assyrians. While they was being oppressed by the Assyrians, guess what? We was being oppressed by the Babylonians. Straight like that. Now, so Jeremiah 50 and 33 is not talking about during the time of the Babylonian captivity, man. Because we weren't oppressed together. We were separated. Yeah, we were oppressed at the same time, but this is talking about literally being oppressed together. When and where are we oppressed together? Right here in Babylon the Great. Right here in Babylon the Great, we being oppressed together. All right, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 18. Let's go to Jeremiah 3 and 18. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 18. And it reads, it says, in those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. So the Lord said that we would come out of the land of the north together. What's the land of the north? By default, it has to be America. Why? In this context, it has to be America. Why? Because we didn't come. It can't be Babylon. They'll Negro only. They'll try to say, "Oh, that's talking about Babylon," but that's not the case. Because why? Let's go to the book of Ezra, chapter 1. Just use my Bible. Let's go to the book of Ezra, chapter 1. When we left from there. Salakia, when we left from there, under the king of Persia and Cyrus the king of Persia, it was only the southern kingdom there, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And it's going to show you that. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 1 and verse 5. And it reads, it says, then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin. That's right. So the so-called African Americans, the so-called Jamaicans, and the priests and the Levites, the Haitians, with all them whose spirit God had raised to go up to build the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem. Because the king of Persia, Cyrus, he actually gave us permission to be able to go and build the temple and build the wall back up in Jerusalem. It only mentions the southern kingdom in this text. It doesn't say anything about Naphtali, Ephraim, Manasseh. It don't mention anything about those tribes. It's only speaking about who? The southern kingdom. So we didn't leave all out of the we didn't leave out of the land of the north during the same time. We didn't leave out of the land of the north together, period. Ever. When is that talking about? That's talking about America, which is Babylon the Great, which is the land of the north, man. They call it North America. That's what it's talking about in Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 18, where it says, in those days the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and we walking with them right now in America, Babylon the Great. And they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given them an inheritance unto your fathers. The Lord, when the Lord cracked the sky and come with the thousands of millions of chariots, man, a majority of Israel is going to be where? Right here in Babylon the Great. They'll try to, Negro only will try to say, no, they all in Africa. That's not the case. That's false. And the scriptures, like I said, does not back that up whatsoever. Now, let's go to Salakia. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11 and 11 real quick, because you got them. They'll try to say too. They'll try to say also. Salakia. They'll try to say too that, like I said, they'll try to say that they're all over in Africa, but or the majority of them are not in America, but that's not what the scriptures say. Okay, it said only a remnant of them would be in lands like Africa and so on and so other different places. Only a remnant. A remnant is not the whole, Northern Kingdom or majority or even Southern Kingdom. A remnant is a small amount, a portion. A remnant is a portion. Okay, this is Isaiah 11 and 11, and it reads, it says, it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathoros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. Okay, so a remnant, right, of our people, right, are in the land of Africa, in the islands, in the different places on the earth. Where a majority of them at, you're going to find out that it's right here in America, right, according to Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 18, right? And let's go to the book of Amos, and let's prove it even more. Majority of our people are not in Africa. Hell, barely, really, it's a small amount. Like the scriptures say, it's a remnant of them over there. Why? It's going to show you right here. This is Amos chapter 1 and verse 6. And it reads, it says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and Gaza are the actual Africans, the ancient Africans. It's not the people over there that's in Gaza right now, because in that land over there, those are bastards of Ashdod, as they'll say. Right? It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away, they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to who? To Edom. Which was what? When you had so-called Africans selling Israelites to who? The so-called white man, Edomites. That's where they get this whole conception of, oh, they try to say, oh, you y'all sold yourselves, right? Or we sold ourselves into slavery. No, we didn't. No, the hell we did not. That is a lie. That is a misconception. I hate when people even say that, because it's ignorant as hell, man. And it's not their fault. They just don't know. They just don't have the understanding. They don't do the actual research, man. Africans, so-called Africans, sold us so-called Israelites into slave. I mean, not so-called Israelites, but so-called African Americans and other nations, the other tribes, into slavery to the so-called white man. Just like it just told you, it said, and carried away captive the whole captivity, not some. It said the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Okay, so majority, the whole, that when they try to say damn Northern Kingdom is over in Africa, that is a lie. That is not biblically backed up whatsoever at all with the scriptures. They floating that out there like crazy, man. Right, and we going through the cuts right now, man. Let's go to let's go to Ezekiel, man. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. And let's talk about this 12 tribes chart. Because a lot of them, they'll try to say the 12 tribes chart is madness. You feel me? The 12 tribes chart is BS. Right? Why y'all got that chart? That chart is false. Y'all shame in the name of the Lord, etc., etc., etc. Well, let's see what the Lord said about the 12 tribes chart, man. Let's see what the Lord said about making the 12 tribes chart even in the first place, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16, and it reads, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions. So take the northern and the southern kingdom and write the tribes down on a stick. The word stick in Hebrew is a plank. So they had a plank, man. Right? And he did what? Wrote the 12 tribes of Israel on it. And what did they do? It says, Salakia, it says, and join them one to another into one stick. So you had, boom, you had one plank on there that had the northern kingdom. You had another plank on there that had the southern kingdom. And then what did he tell them to do? Boom, put both of them on one plank. So write the 12 tribes of Israel, carve the 12 tribes of Israel into this one plank and make them one nation. And we going to read on, and it's going to tell you that. It says, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by this, by these? So if somebody say, man, what is that? What's that chart for? What's that talking about? Right? Hey, the Lord going to tell you what you say about it. It says, say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and will Salakia, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and shall Salakia, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. So he's saying, look, the stick, meaning the plank that you got with the 12 tribes of Israel written on there, they'll be able to look at it right before their eyes. So the Lord, man, told us to get a 12 tribes chart and use the 12 tribes chart and show them the 12 tribes chart, man. The Lord told us to do that, man, right here, straight in the scriptures. Reading on. It says, and say unto them, verse 21, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. Reading on, verse 22, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations. So we're not going to be no more two nations, man. It's not going to be a northern kingdom and a southern kingdom. Hey, we're going to be Yasha Allah, man. Kwam Yasha Allah. Reading on. So, like, reading on, it says, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. So straight like that. So, but the point is, the Lord told us to get a 12 tribes chart, man. The Lord told us to put the 12 tribes of Israel on the chart, man. So when they go up and they scoff at the chart, man, hey, Ezekiel 37, 16 through 22, hey, the Lord told us to do this, man. So you scoffing at the Lord. You Negro only Israelites scoffing at the Lord when y'all do that, not knowing that the Lord told us to go out there and, hey, use a 12 tribes chart, man. Straight like that. You feel me? So this video, man, is Negro only false doctrine cuts, man. Okay, because you got a lot of people out there, they damn going against their own people, not even knowing it. They going against their own people, not even knowing it. Their own brother, they get hating their own brother in their heart. And if you look, Negro only doctrine people not gonna make it, man. They not gonna make it. They gonna get utterly destroyed and cut down in the land of the living, man. Why? Because you hate your brother in your heart, right? Matter of fact, let's get a couple more real quick, just so I can be quicker on the sword. Let's go to the book of Hosea. Come on. Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 7. Come on. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 7 and verse 8. And it reads, it says, Ephraim have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Look, if you cooking the pancake and you don't turn that pancake over, hey, one side going to be dark, and guess what? The other side going to be light, man. What is that symbolic for? Why did the Lord put that in the scriptures? It's talking about the northern kingdom, man. That's why a majority of the northern kingdom is what? They're of a lighter complexion than the southern kingdom. Is that talking about the damn Africans over there in Africa, man? No, it's not. It's talking about our people, man. Our brothers and sisters, man, of the northern kingdom. So-called Hispanics and Native Americans, man. Okay? It says, strangers have devoured their strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are there, and there upon them, yet he knoweth not. Let's jump down to verse 11. It says, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. So the Lord said, hey, man, they call to Egypt and they go to Assyria. What is that talking about? Hey, they come right here to Babylon the Great, man, to America, the land of the north. They come here to do what? Get oppressed. Now, in their mind, they're not thinking like that. In their mind, what are they thinking? Hispanics come over here, so-called Mexicans, they come over here to try to live a better life, to make a better life and pave the way for their family, and then they eventually bring their family over here, man. They not thinking about what's going on over here. They not thinking about, damn, the Lord gonna come to destroy this place. That's why the Lord called them a silly dove. Okay? But what the Lord say about them when they come over here to America? What the Lord say? Verse 12. It says, when they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. I will bring them down as the fowls of heaven. I will chasten them. I will chastise them as their congregation hath heard. So the Lord said, hey, when these Hispanics come over here, hey, I'm going to chasten them, man. Why? Because they a silly dove, man. Doesn't that happen on a day-to-day basis, man, with Northern Kingdom, man, with the so-called Hispanics, man? They come over here from they other lands, man, and they come to America and get nothing but oppressed, just like us. Hey, police brutality happens to them. Hey, you could make a case that it happens more to the Hispanics than it does to the so-called African American. If you look at the numbers, hey, you can go and actually look this up. They literally still to this day being sent out to the border, man. And what they doing is they deporting the fathers and the fathers and the mothers, and then keeping the kids here. Kids who be 3, 6, 2 years old, man, and up. And then what they do, they give them up for adoption, man. And if don't nobody want them, what they do, they take them and rape them, man. And that's a fact, man. Okay? Those things are happening, and that's in the curses, man. And the curses of Deuteronomy 28, man. They go through the same curses we go through, man. Just like we do, right? They went into slavery on ships just like we did, man. To who? To the Assyrians, man, in 722 BC. Right? In 722 BC, okay, they went into slavery on ships also and got conquered by the conquistadors, man. That's why a lot of them, damn Catholic, man, the Spaniards, that's why a lot of the Hispanics Catholic, right? They into Catholicism, they into heavy idol worship, they wear the rosaries, they worship damn Mary, so on and so forth, man. right? They was getting their backs beaten in the field, right? They get their sons and their daughters taken away from them and don't have any might in their hand, man. Just like the curse said, thou shalt not see thy sons and thy daughters; they shall be taken away from thee, and thou shalt have no might in thy hand. Paraphrasing. And that's exactly what's still going on to this very day with them, man. So for anybody to say that the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans are not Israelites, your mind bad. And I advise you to rethink that, man, and get out of that as quick as possible. Or you're going to get cut down in the land of the living, man. The Lord not dealing with Negro-only doctrines, man. The Lord not dealing with that. All right? Salaki, let me get, actually, you know what? Sake of time. With that, Lord willing, y'all was edified through the Spirit. Lord willing, brothers and sisters be able to fight against the Negro-only false doctrine, man. Lord willing, y'all learned and was edified through the Spirit. Y'all understand that Hispanics and Native Americans are, in fact, Israelites according to the Bible, that a Negro-only doctrine is not supported whatsoever with the scriptures. They got too many answers. I mean, Salaki, they got too many questions that they cannot answer with the scriptures. All right? It's completely false. All right, so with that, Kwam Yasha Allah, Shalom.